Well, hello, my friends. Welcome to the show. My name is Macil Duncan, and this is the Macil Duncan Radio Show here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, broadcast live on Street Level America, USA Heartbeat Radio, and Destiny Media, 96.9 FM here, the flagship station here in Chattanooga. And we appreciate all you that like and listen to the show. Tell your friends. We are now in 32 states, Mexico and Canada, and we've got 26 other countries that have downloaded or watched the show according to the breakdowns that we get monthly on the USA Heartbeat network computer. And it's pretty awesome the way God's spreading the word. Hope you guys are having a great day. Today was the National Leadership Prayer Conference, and I got to go downtown. Championship Ministries, I happen to be the founder of that. We always buy a table, and I always invite some prayer warriors to go with me. And this year I invite, now my buddy Greg Williams goes every year, but I invited some other guys from our church. Dave Adams from USA Heartbeat was there today with me, and just a great turnout. And we got to hear from a Secret Service agent who's from West Tennessee, a Tennessean, who went on to have a wonderful career in the Marines, in the Secret Service. Protected 7 presidents and 4 vice presidents in his time, but had a wonderful testimony today and talked about how even though he was first in his class and had a lot of accolades, he said it really wasn't until he got broken about the relationship with God. And this is the key point I took away from this morning, see if it blesses you. He said it's not how much power you have, but the empowerment you get from God. He goes, I had all the accolades. I was number 1 in my class, number 1 when he went to different leadership and officer school. I was always the number 1 testee, and I always came out number 1. He goes, but that was on my power. He goes, and I thought that was enough to get through life. He goes, then I had to learn to be empowered by the Holy Spirit. And powerful testimony. You can go online and go to the Chattanooga Leadership Prayer Breakfast, and you can catch, and his name is Chris Commons. It's a wonderful thing, and my friend T.W. That led the pastor, salute to you, friend. Good job hosting, and a great turnout, and it was nice to see both mayors there, Mayor Kelly and Weston Walt. Thank you guys both for being there. That blesses a lot of our hearts to see our community leaders. Our sheriff was there. A lot of local mayors from around the smaller cities, and it was a great time. It was a packed house, great turnout, great, and it's every third Tuesday after the National Day of Prayer. So keep that in mind for next year, and you ought to go. It really will bless you. Well, as I said, lots going on. I don't know about you guys, but I want to do a little bit of understanding on why is it that Merrick Garland seems to have such a tiff, if you will. I think I can explain it today. And I'll go through and explain to you how Merrick Garland was an up-and-coming judge. And I've actually got the clip where Mitch McConnell, believe it or not, recommended him to be the next director of the FBI when Trump fired Comey. Mitch McConnell said you should consider Merrick Garland to be the next head of the FBI. Think about that. Well, when Justice Scalia, the conservative judge, was found dead in a hunting lodge with a pillow over his face with no autopsy, mind you, a lot of folks were skeptical not only of his death but the timing. Obama had 9 months left as president, and it seemed he wanted to replace a very conservative constitutional judge with a much more liberal judge, which would have been Merrick Garland. So I've got the clip I'll play later in the show of when Obama nominated him. Merrick Garland gets actually a little bit emotional accepting the nomination. But then what happened? Mitch McConnell blocked it. And I've got the clip where he bragged about blocking it. So if you were Merrick Garland and you had gone through all your legal ladder climbing, all the things he had to do to become the federal judgeships and the appointments he had. And he even was whispered to be the next director of the FBI, but he was told, hey, you're on the short list to be on the Supreme Court. and you get passed by. Because, see, once you're nominated like Obama did, and they refused to do the hearing, most like then you're just kind of swept. You're not. You're kind of seen as tainted, so he won't be maybe looked at again. So if you were Merrick Garland, be honest, and Biden came to you and said, "How would you like to be the Attorney General and have a little revenge?" Think about it. If you weren't a Christian and you were just filled with the flesh, would you not say, "Yeah, I think I like that opportunity"? Does that maybe explain to you why Merrick Garland has just completely gone back crazy over the indictments of Trump and many of his conservative friends? Interesting, is it not? We'll see about that. And as I play the clips, I think just hearing the words from Merrick Garland, Mitch McConnell, Obama, and some of the folks back in the day to where we are now, I think you'll get the picture that what we're seeing now. The reason I bring that up is, guess who Donald Trump is considering for his Attorney General? And I love it. Paxton from Texas. Now, I don't know about you, but Paxton, the reason I like the thought of this guy is because, you know, his own party in Texas tried to get him removed. And what was his crime? He actually went on the books and found laws that prohibited transgender sex change of children. And he started enacting on hospitals. And he started messing with the money train, the cha-ching-ching that goes from, you know, private donors up through the political ranks and trickles back down into the pockets of your big-time politicians. Savvy? Called money laundering. And as he was putting the squeeze and having these cases, all of a sudden the GOP turned on him. And here's the one thing the GOP proved. GOP, you really screwed up. Let me tell you how you screwed up. You proved to us when you really want to, you can get something done lickety-quick fast. You guys are so slow. Usually, molasses drips from a spoon faster than you guys can get anything accomplished. With all your sound bites, all your wonderful clickbait, and all the things you say you're going to do, and y'all don't do jack half the time. But, buddy, you showed us what you could do in Texas. With almost minute moments, within days, you had your Attorney General just about removed from office. So you got to ask yourself, what brought on that? Why was that so successful? So you got to ask yourself, why is it that was so successful? I believe, because many of us do, there's possibly a uniparty. I believe there's genuine Democrats and genuine Republicans. But I think up at the upper level, the Mitch McConnells, the Pelosi's, Feinstein kind of risked her soul. You know, the Tip O'Neills back in the day. You know, the different ones up there. I think there's a uniparty presence. I think they get into the backstage cigar smoking, champagne drinking club. And it just is my opinion. I'll bring you some more stuff later in the show, see what you think, and see if you agree. I know something's up because Facebook just froze me because when I brought up Merrick Garland and went down that list, it said your video. They only do that when I get dead on. I know Facebook. Thank you, Factbook, Fakebook, whatever you want to call it, because whenever you freeze my video like you just did, I'm striking a nerve, or some little nerd sitting down in someone's basement. That's the fact checker saying, "Oh my gosh, who told him that?" Yeah, I figured this one out by myself. Anyway, I'm back on. If you're listening to Facebook and you missed that, I'll explain later what you missed. Anyway, today is a beautiful day. Got so many clips for you. Got some good stuff. The other thing I just wanted to bring out, if you haven't heard, the Daily Wire mentions feminism lied to a generation of women. Now they're realizing what they actually want. And you got to admit, Title IX and all the things they're doing to try to let men go back to dominating women. You know, women that have paid the price for equal pay, equal rights, and some of the things you have to go through Because back in the day, if you young people don't know, if you're listening, women weren't even allowed to vote. And it was the Republican Party that won, freed the slaves, and it was the Republican Party that got women the right to vote. It only won. Women get to vote because of one extra vote. It only won by one vote, and it was a Republican. Go back. Just please do the research. Find out for yourself. Now, I'm not trying to make everyone a Republican. I know it may sound that way because I get very frustrated with them. But interesting. 39 Secret Service agents demand an investigation into Biden's Marxist DEI policies. And as I said today, we heard from a secret agent that served 25 years and protected 7 presidents and 4 vice presidents, Chris Commons. So I found this interesting when I saw this across some of the news drops. 39 secret agents demand an investigation. They're not requesting, they're demanding it. They put it in writing. And they said the Biden's Marxist DEI policies following an unusual assault by a female agent on her male superior. You know, whether you like it or not, everyone has a pecking order, especially in the military, if you're in government agencies, especially like the Secret Service. Someone's in charge. You can't always scream racism and someone doesn't like me because this or that. Sometimes you got to do what you're told to do. And she didn't like what she was told to do, evidently, and she went back crazy. But she's claiming that she has DEI protection, meaning that she doesn't have to obey the rules or obey her superiors. I agree. Something's got to happen. The big news is the World Economic Forum. The founder, Klaus Schwab, is stepping down from executive chairman role. Do you realize the bigness of this? He actually created this World Economic Forum, this attempt at global financing, this domination of globalism. Klaus Schwab announced, and what's interesting, he announced it through an email, I believe. This is going to send the Q community back crazy because I know you guys are thinking, I brought it up yesterday. A lot of folks, it says in the Q drops how they'll switch. How long will it take for them to switch to her, meaning from Biden to a female candidate? Many thought Hillary Clinton. Now they're saying Michelle Obama or Kamala Harris. But there's evidently going to be in August at the Democratic Convention. By the way, they pushed the convention back to August. It's usually earlier than that. And I think the reason being is they're going to have to, by then it's going to have to be Kamala Harris. You won't be able to get anyone else on the ballot. See, right now, I believe Biden and Kamala have met all the deadlines. If they try to bring in Michelle Obama at this point, there would be public record. You have to have timing. So I just want to cool some jets. Some of you thought it was Michelle Obama, but if I'm not mistaken, she has to file with intent to run, and several of these states require many weeks out. So to get on the ballot, so that's the smart thinking. It's going to be Kamala if they do a switch. Now, see, if Kamala is put on as the presidential candidate, then she can pick a vice president either after the election or at the convention. I believe that's doable. And I'll explain some of that maybe later from the way it's explained to me. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. And then the other quick thing we have here is Mark Esper is calling it a cool war. Remember, they called it the Cold War with Russia. This guy from Newsmax is calling it a cool, C-O-O-L, cool war with China and the U.S. Kind of the same analogy. Back in the decades, they used to scare us with Russia, Russia, Russia. Now they're scared us with China, China, China. Do you wonder, is this just like the same song with a new word stuck in? It's going to be interesting to find out. My name is Macil Duncan. This is the Macil Duncan Radio Show. Move Your Mountains is my book. Learn the journey of faith that can overcome. I'll be back after these messages. Please don't turn that dial. Tell your friends about the show.
Hi, this is Kat from from Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I just wanted to say how much I love your show. I love the topics that you cover and all the special guests that you have come online. It keeps things really fun and interesting. Thank you.
It's a new day in Chattanooga. This is WVMG Chattanooga.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
yeah,
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner, Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder, and our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other and build family memories we will carry with us forever. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. It's easy. Just put in your zip code to find family-friendly outdoor destinations near you. You'll also find guides to free activities, games, and amazing forest facts. Give the magic of the outdoors to your kids and reconnect with your family. Find a forest near you at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is Macil Duncan. Wait, sorry, that clip was not the one we were supposed to be playing there.
This week with CNN, if you saw it, you may have watched it yourself. He set quite the record. The New York Post reports this. In a brief 17 minutes, Biden told 15 lies, nearly a lie a minute. From whoppers about the economy to prevarications on Israel, Biden spun a fantasy land of a presidency that voters know is false. So what we want to do is put it all together, all right? So on screen, you'll see all 15 that the New York Post lists here. I don't know what you favor, Martha. Lie one is I've created 15 million jobs since I've been president. Problem is that all those jobs came back because COVID went away and you had the vaccine. This week with CNN, if you saw it, you may have watched it yourself. He set quite the record. The New York Post reports this. In a brief 17 minutes, Biden told 15 lies.
15 lies in 17 minutes. That's almost a lie a minute. When you go here to the Gateway Pundit, the White House has issued 9 corrections to Biden's NAACP speech. That's right. The White House has had to issue 9 corrections to the official transcript of Joe Biden's speech at the annual NAACP dinner in Detroit, Michigan on Sunday. The official transcript was edited for both factual and pronunciation errors. The first correction came early in the speech when Biden referred to a pandemic while he was Barack Obama's vice president. We played it yesterday. The White House edited it to say recession. Okay? Next, Biden said he was humbled to receive this organization, which the White House edited to award. Soon after, Biden mentioned that he had just given the commencement speech at Morehouse College, which he called inspiring. That was corrected to inspiring. Okay, I can't even spell what he was trying to say. On my watch, more black Americans, this is Joe Biden, more black Americans have health insurance than ever in all of history. I protected and expanded the Affordable Care Act, saving millions of families $800 million in premiums and $8,000 a year in premiums. Biden babbled. This glaring factual error was corrected to say 800. 8 million and 800 are a lot of different zeros there, Mr. Joe. Biden also claimed we're cracking down on corporate landlords who keep rents down, which was changed to we're cracking down on corporate landlords to keep rents down. Biden made some additional grammatical errors before referring to the January 6 protesters as erectionists. And I guess he thought they had erectional issues. And anyway, which the White House corrected to insurrectionist. So Joe must have had something else on the brain. During his speech, Biden sought to differentiate himself from former Donald Trump by referring to him as unhinged. Look, the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion are the core strength of America, Biden said. That's why I'm proud to have the most diverse administration in history to tap into the full talents of our country. Biden continued, we have more African American, we have more women, we have more minorities in our administration than any other administration in all of history. That's why we're going to do so damn well. I'm just reading his quote. And so anyway, he went on to say a lot of doozies. Fox News said he's told 15 lies in 17 minutes. The White House has made 9 corrections to his NAACP speech. And does that fuel the debate even more that the Democrats are probably going to make a switcheroo come August at the Democratic Convention, or will they do it sooner? Again, someone can do the research, maybe let me know. I'm going off in a couple of podcasts and a news, but the reason I was learning this is because they were trying to keep Kennedy off ballots. Robert F. Kennedy, as you know, is running as an independent. He's a Democrat, but he created We the People Party. And there was a lot of efforts to keep him and some states, Donald Trump, off ballots. So I've slept since the information, but if I'm not incorrect, I believe I want to say between 3 and 6 months. States are different. You have to declare you're running, have to have so many signatures to affirm that you are a viable candidate of that party in that state. So for Michelle Obama to run 50 states, let's just say it's 2,000 signatures per state, that's doable. I think she would get that. But I'm just wondering now with the election 5 months away, I mean, let's say, and we're in May, right? So let's say June, July, August, September, October, and it's November 5th. So I don't think she meets, if any state has a 6-month deadline, she can't meet that. If it's a 5-month or 3-month deadline, she can meet that. And maybe there are states that the 6-month deadline would be more of a red state anyway, not worrying about it. Don't know. But the buzz is in, and it's increasing, that Joe Biden, with these continual gaffes, and the media, for some reason, is bringing it to our attention more. Have you noticed that? They ran cover for Joe Biden for his first 2.5, almost 3 years. They hardly mentioned any of his gaffes, his mistakes, his misquotes and his lies till now. Why now are they deciding to say, hey, Joe Biden is fair game? That's a good question, is it not? So, interesting stuff. So the White House issues 9 corrections. So we can talk about that some later too. Elvis Presley's iconic Graceland mansion up for auction amid foreclosure. Now my dad's a big Elvis fan. I tell you what, there's something all of you, if you're probably 70 some years or older, you know where you were when Kennedy was shot. You know where you were at 9/11, and you know where you were when Elvis died. I mean, those are three iconic things for folks that can scan that lifespan. And when the shuttle blew up, okay? But Elvis Presley's iconic Graceland mansion up for auction amid foreclosure. Elvis' granddaughter claims fraud and fights back. So this is interesting here. The king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley's iconic Graceland mansion, is on the cusp of being sold at a foreclosure auction this Thursday. That's interesting. Which was led Elvis's granddaughter to fight back in a lawsuit. According to a notice provided by the Shelby County Courthouse in Memphis, Tennessee, Graceland and its surrounding estate are set to be auctioned off on May 2nd in an auction. And in response to notice, Riley Keough, the granddaughter of the late Elvis Presley, has called the auction a sham and filed a lawsuit to prevent the estate from being sold. On Monday, an attorney representing Keough obtained a temporary restraining order to prevent the sale, and a junction hearing was set for Wednesday. It's a sad thing. Now, I don't know if you've ever been through Graceland. My girls, I have 3 daughters, and most of the time my wife picks out all the vacations, okay? And that's okay. I mean, you know, I lived in the estrogen ocean, okay? And if you guys can feel me, you got a wife and multiple girls. I mean, movie night is a chick flick. It's just a given. I've said before, I can't tell you how many times I've watched Little Women. Mr. Darcy, Mr. Darcy. I've got it quoted down, okay? So I pulled my masculinity father card, and I said, we're going to Graceland. And, oh, did he not like it. They were so upset. But it's the most enjoyable vacation they look back on, because we happened to go, unbeknownst to me, at the anniversary of his passing. And my daughter were counting. There was 100 Elvis lookalikes, and Lisa Marie Presley, there was like 80 people dressing, and they were walking around. But anyway, if you go to Graceland, at least you could tour the house, you could tour the planes, his car show. He had a big car collection, and in the back in his studio, it had all of his awards. And so I went through Graceland. We did the Platinum Tour, mind you. That's the biggest tour you can. And we went to Sun Studios and went through and saw where they did the tapings, etc. So anyway, had a great time. I'm kind of an Elvis fan. I don't know if you are, but the interesting facts is he's known as the king of rock and roll, but all of his awards came from his gospel music. Is that interesting? He never got an award for a rock music until after death. He got some acknowledgement. So interesting. But Graceland goes up for auction May 2nd. If you got a big checkbook, head to Shelby County. You just might buy the big one. We'll be back after the break. This is the Macil Duncan Show on on Destiny Radio here, 96.9 FM, Street Level America, and Heartbeat USA. We appreciate all those that like and listen to the show.
My name is Beverly Reynolds. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I just wanted to let you know that I feel it's important to have the Macil Duncan radio show. I listen to him and support him completely because he tells the truth that we don't hear on mainstream media concerning local, state, national, world happenings. He talks talks about our nation that was formed as one nation under God with the inclusion of individuals' God-given rights. He speaks about God, our creator. He talks about our Constitution that guarantees those rights. And the people need to get involved in their freedom and liberty, regaining and retaining and protecting their constitutional rights. So I believe everyone should hear his show. They should get involved, whether it's physical, it's prayer, whatever. They need to get involved and pay attention to what's going on. And he's putting that word out there. He's a true Christian patriot, and I wish all Americans could hear his show. Thank you. My phone number is 423-305-5944.
It's a new day in Chattanooga. This is WVMG Chattanooga.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder, and our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other and build family memories we will carry with us forever. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. It's easy. Just put in your zip code to find family-friendly outdoor destinations near you. You'll also find guides to free activities, games, and amazing forest facts. Give the magic of the outdoors to your kids and reconnect with your family. Find a forest near you at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
I'm 54, so basically, it's too late to start saving for retirement, right?
Not right. Starting to save, even in your 50s, can really make a difference.
Well, right now, saving seems hard to wrap my head around. Plus, with the way this year's been going...
Hey, listen, it's okay. You still got this. Just go to aceyourretirement.org. It's an online tool from AARP that can help you get your retirement savings on track no matter your age. It's free and only takes about 3 minutes.
I like 3 minutes.
Yeah, at aceyourretirement.org, you'll chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer a few questions and you'll get a personalized plan and tips to help boost your retirement savings. Tips that are easy to understand and tailored to your lifestyle.
I like that too.
Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Just head to aceyourretirement.org and make your plan to start saving for retirement.
Thanks.
That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt, and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
The fourth industrial revolution is a combination of technological breakthroughs which will completely change business models, society, economies. Fourth industrial revolution is coming with enormous speed and will change not only...
This is Klaus Schwab, if you didn't pick up on the goofy accent. Did you hear what he just said? the fourth industrial revolution. I first thought he said forced. He's saying the fourth industrial revolution is coming with enormous speed. Let's listen again. This is Klaus Schwab, the founder of the World Economic Forum. Okay, check it out.
Society, economies, fourth industrial revolution is coming with enormous speed and will change not only what we are doing, but who we are. Who we are. Who we are. Who we are.
Will globalization rise or
The
recede?
world will grow more together in the digital age.
He's saying the world will grow more together in the digital age. Now, you've got to admit, with social media, with the things that we've got going on, with AI now, the supercomputers, the different things they're talking about, trying to go cashless and putting everybody on a digital currency. Can you see? I understand what he's talking about. Let's go back. This, again, I'm trying to explain. He's got a goofy accent, but this is Klaus Schwab, the founder of World Economic Forum. There's a reason I'm playing this. Hang on.
All together in the digital age. We are becoming more interdependent. We are becoming more interdependent. We are becoming more interdependent. We will have not less, we will have more globalization. We will have more globalization. We will have more globalization.
Now let me stop and ask you something. What does MAGA stand for? Make America Great Again. It's a nationalist. Do you see why Klaus Schwab and the global elites hate Donald Trump? And those in the Democratic Party and the Hollywood and the elites that fly, the Clooney's and all the actors and stuff, the Taylor Swifts that fly these jets over or get on their yachts and they go to these private parties and these think tanks to talk to us people, the commoners, if you will. But he's saying we will have more globalization. But check it out. He says, but the question is, and listen to the question.
We will have not less, we will have more globalization. But the question is...
The question is, let me get to it. Hang on. Check it out.
More globalization. But the question is, how do we master and how do we construct this new time?
How do we master and how do we construct this new type of globalization? The word master, how do we master? What does master mean? It means lording over you. Savvy?
Type of globalization. I call it globalization 4.0.
He calls it globalization 4.0. This is Klaus Schwab, who said you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Think about that statement. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Seriously? That's so against capitalism. It's so against the American dream. But have you noticed how they're making art? Teenagers today don't have any ambition to get jobs. They don't have an ambition to go out and improve their lifestyle. They're very content with going to the Goodwill wearing junky clothes. All they want is a fancy phone. That's about all they want. Okay, buy me the fanciest phone. I'll wear whatever. That's not by accident. The education system is going along with the globalism.
It's a poison for society.
It's a poison for society. Now, what does he mean? It's a poison for society. Let's listen to Klaus Schwab.
It's a poison for society.
Poison for society. I'm going to hear it one more time.
It's a poison for society. We cannot leave people behind.
We cannot leave people behind. Meaning you can't have independence. That's why you've got to take away the guns, take away religion, anything that would inspire independence. It's got to go. According to Klaus Schwab.
We have to make everything to ensure social cohesion.
we must make everything to ensure social cohesion. He's really trying to talk English. Bless his heart. Much better than some others that come to this country.
Of a society, because social cohesion is the prerequisite for a democratically functioning country.
Now that is interesting. Did you catch that little word salad? Because social cohesion is a prerequisite for democratically functioning country. So, a democratically functioning country. Now, a lot of folks say we're not a democratic society, we are a republic. Either way, democratically or republic requires voting and we the people. He's always come across more like a dictator mentality, like we'll own nothing and be happy. So I've got another clip here I want to play for you. But before I do, in case you haven't heard, World Economic Forum founder Klaus Schwab has announced his resignation as executive chairman of the WEF. In an email to WEF staff members, Schwab announced he would be officially stepping down as executive chairman and transitioning to non-executive chairman. I didn't know that kind of stuff. He's going to be stepping down and transitioning to non-executive chairman. That's a word salad, is it not? Schwab has not announced his successor yet, but noted that over the last year, the World Economic Forum Executive Board, under the leadership of President Borge Brende, has taken full executive responsibility. Schwab, who founded WEF, has been heavily criticized for his comments and ideas over the last decade. Mwabby, I'm one that criticizes him. Here's another word salad of Mr. Schwab.
At this pivotal moment, I see several priorities for the global agenda. We must continue to fight against the global pandemic. We must revitalize the global economy and accelerate its transition to net zero. Accelerate its transition to net.
So during the COVID crisis, many call it the plandemic. He's talking about we must accelerate this great reset. Is it not interesting that they intentionally determined what was considered essential, what was not, and tried to get us to order more things online and to get us, and they really did a crushing blow to small business and things of that nature. Now, don't forget, during global, you can only go to things that were essential. You couldn't go to church, you couldn't go to the gym, you couldn't get your hair cut. Now, you could go get a lap dance, you could go buy liquor, and you could go have an abortion. Those things were considered essential. They never shut down the abortion, the clinics, the liquor, or the nudie clubs. They were essential. But you couldn't go to church, you couldn't get your hair cut, couldn't go to the gym. Just reminding you, in case some of you have had a little brain lapse.
Net zero. We must preserve biodiversity by deploying nature-based solutions, and we must narrow the gap between the rich and the poor to achieve more sustainable global development.
So the gap between the rich and the poor. Do you believe that dude really cares for you and your best interest? I think not. But history of this turning point. This is the world government, and see if we can catch some of this before the break.
At a turning point. We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected.
He says the food supply and energy will be affected. Now, when you go read a lot of these books that talk about controlling the globe, it talks about controlling energy, controlling healthcare, and controlling the food. Interesting. And I thought it was interesting, too. Zelensky was at Davos, and you remember what he said? Trump is living rent-free in their heads. He goes, they're all in panic that Trump's going to win. I'll be back.
It's a new day in Chattanooga. This is WVMG Chattanooga.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey. Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder, and our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other and build family memories we will carry with us forever. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. It's easy. Just put in your zip code to find family-friendly outdoor destinations near you. You'll also find guides to free activities, games, and amazing forest facts. Give the magic of the outdoors to your kids and reconnect with your family. Find a forest near you at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Well, this is Macil Duncan, and welcome back to the show. I'm going to be talking to you later in the podcast radio here about the 9 ways to lead your leader. Some of you are pastors, or maybe you're a business leader. These are concepts I like to use. They're from John Maxwell, and I'll just read through the topics here, and then we'll go into more depth later in the show. But lead yourself exceptionally well, and leading yourself is the key because you're the example leader. Savvy? Listen to leaders' loads. 3, be willing to do what the others won't. And that's you got to get the pride out of the way. Sometimes you've got to be willing to do what others won't do. 4, do more than manage, lead. Okay. Number 5, invest in relationship chemistry. 6, be prepared every time you take your leader's time. 7, know when to push and when to back off. Number 8, become a go-to player. Number 9, be better tomorrow than you are today. So it's a challenge, not just for them, but for you. If you're a leader, I want to talk to you later in the show and encourage you with some leadership tips. Well, speaking of people that let out, we're finding out Norm Eisen was the key architect behind the color revolution and the lawfare cases against President Trump, and was confronted outside the Manhattan courthouse by the founder of the crowdsource The Truth. He was called, of course, a liar. The reporter shouted, Eisen, you set this all up, and Costello just exploded. You're going to go to jail, bro. Trump's defense witnessed Robert Costello on Monday testified that Norm Eisen coerced Michael Cohen to pay Stormy Daniels out of his own pocket. Eisen wilted and walked over to a cop for protection. This is all coming out. So we're finding out Norm Eisen, the architect, okay? This came out Monday in the trial against Trump. Trump's defense witness, Robert Costello, on Monday testified that Norm Eisen, who is the architect behind the color revolution and these cases, okay, coerced Michael Cohen to pay Stormy Daniels out of his own pocket. And Eisen wilted into a police group for protection. And this other guy, Crowdsourced Truth, went on to say, it's my sincere hope that this is the best 60 seconds you'll experience all day. If you want to go watch when he confronts Mr. Eisen and then he runs and hides behind a police officer. Norm Eisen is behind every lawfare case against President Trump. All 180 cases this guy helped create, manipulate, and coordinate. Michael Cohen went to Norm Eisen in 2016 with his Stormy Daniel hush money payment grift. So this is something, the Obama's ethics czar, Norm Eisen, is behind 180 lawsuits against Trump and was behind nearly every effort to sue, impeach, and overthrow Trump. He was one of Obama's henchmen, if you will. In September 2020, Tucker Carlson spoke with Revolver News' Darren Beattie, the former speechwriter for President Trump. Beattie called out Norm Eisen in his discussion about the color revolution. Darren Beattie specifically called out Norm Eisen and as the lawfare hatchet man and Democratic operative behind the color revolution. You should try to understand more about what this color revolution is all about. And don't forget that Obama's theme was hope and change. And if you remember when Obama first took office, he and Michael would not put their hand over their heart during the Pledge of Allegiance. It was only after his first year and a lot of berating, Obama started putting his hand over his heart. Michelle did not put her hand over the heart till almost the third and the fourth year because re-election was coming around. But the first 2 years, if you go watch clips of the national anthem, Michael would not put his hand over his heart, and Barry Soetoro, as Barack Hussein Obama, would not until going into his second year of his first term. Norm Eisen is a key legal hatchet man, a Democratic operative, and former Obama ethics czar. Believe it or not, he's also the key architect of nearly every effort to censor, sue, impeach, and overthrow President Trump. He is the author of, in fact, a color revolution playbook, literally called the Playbook. And one of the items he calls for in his playbook is to overthrow regimes overseas he doesn't like, is engineering election fraud using different scenarios, such as ballot harvesting, like maybe a mail-in ballot, things like that. And also question the legitimacy of a leader. And Norm Eisen has a long and checkered history going all the way back to his days at Crude, capital C-R-E-W, which is a lawfare arm. He's been behind over 180 lawsuits against Donald Trump. He authored 10 articles of impeachment before the president's phone call was ever made. And he was a special counsel to the Democrats for impeachment process. He was literally behind the scenes being the puppeteer of all the attacks on Donald Trump from his 2016 till current. Wow. Never knew this guy existed. See, that's what happens. There's always a weasel, usually behind the scenes. I was going to tell a personal story, but I'll leave that where it lies. Blaze Media, Cohen admits under oath to stealing $60,000 from Trump. Yesterday it was 30. Now it's up to 60,000. He is under oath admitting that he stole from Donald Trump, and that's the sad thing is that Cohen, who was their key star witness, is a thief, and now he's admitted to that. And if you remember, Kash Patel came out and basically and gave us the press conference the other day, announcing that Cohen just admitted to six felony counts, I think.
Thank you, General. My name is Kash Patel, former National Security Prosecutor, former public defender, and I'm here to tell you, after 6 weeks of unconstitutional trials, we have finally found a crime. Michael Cohen admitted on the witness stand just this morning to 6 different felonies of stealing Donald Trump's money. After 6 weeks of trial, we finally have a crime. We also have a victim. That victim is Donald J. Trump.
You're goddamn right.
Michael Cohen.
That, my friend, was not supposed to be on there. I do apologize. So this is the thing. Donald Trump is evidently being set up by this guy named Rich Eisen or Norm Eisen. And he's a key legal hatchet man, a Democratic operative, and the former Obama ethics czar. So, and Cohen was coerced by Eisen back in 2016 with the Stormy Daniels. So they're finding out this wasn't something that Cohen did alone. This was part of a plan to upset the seated president at that time, Donald J. Trump. If you remember, they tried to 25th him, and it was Ben Carson that alerted not the vice president, who was well aware they were trying to make Trump come across as that he was not functionally able to function as president. And so, interesting enough, this is every day this stuff's growing bigger and bigger and stronger. And I think a lot of us are going to go, wow, one day we're all going to go say this when they write the history books, whether you like it or not. Donald Trump had the most unusual win in 2016, beating Hillary Clinton, who was supposed to be the unstoppable candidate. And then he lost in 2020 with a record number of votes. He had the most votes of any incumbent, and yet Biden got 81 million to overlap that. That is going to go down in history as the most interesting election of all time, the two elections. And in 2024, I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe it's going to set all records. I believe the greatest voter turnout in American history will be this coming fall, and I pray it does. And I ask each and every one of you, please plan on voting. If you can, go on Election Day. Early voting, all it does, it may give you some convenience, but early voting just triggers to them how many votes they need to steal. Okay, savvy? If you'll go vote on Election Day, stand in lines, make it a party, take some popcorn, take a soda, meet your neighbor, have some fun, and just go and say, listen, I'm going to go and use my constitutional right. If you have to take a sick day, a vacation day, I believe it should be a national holiday. Everyone should be given off so they can go vote. And I believe with all my heart. Now, I watched American Idol the other night. How can American Idol count 20 to 40 million votes and say a 2-hour program and announce the winner in just hours? Do you think we need to get American Idol to run the election system? Just saying. I'll be back. This is Macil Duncan on the Macil Duncan Show here in Chattanooga, Tennessee on Heartbeat USA Radio, Street Level America, and Destiny Media 96.9 FM.
Well, hey, this is Greg Lane. I live in Hickson, Tennessee, And I just want to tell you how much I enjoy the Macil Duncan radio show. Man, I like to listen to it because he talks facts. I love the guy because he loves Jesus. And, it's where I go to find out information, what's going on in the world. But just awesome. I'm glad you guys have him on there. And just keep on keeping on. We love Macil Duncan. This is Greg Lane from Hickson, Tennessee.
It's a new day in Chattanooga. This is WVMG Chattanooga.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder, and our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other and build family memories we will carry with us forever. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. It's easy. Just put in your zip code to find family-friendly outdoor destinations near you. You'll also find guides to free activities, games, and amazing forest facts. Give the magic of the outdoors to your kids and reconnect with your family. Find a forest near you at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
I'm 54, so basically, it's too late to start saving for retirement, right?
Not right. Starting to save, even in your 50s, can really make a difference.
Well, right now, saving seems hard to wrap my head around. Plus, with the way this year's been going...
Hey, listen, it's okay. You still got this. Just go to aceyourretirement.org. It's an online tool from AARP that can help you get your retirement savings on track no matter your age. It's free and only takes about 3 minutes.
I like 3 minutes.
Yeah, at aceyourretirement.org, you'll chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer a few questions and you'll get a personalized plan and tips to help boost your retirement savings. Tips that are easy to understand and tailored to your lifestyle.
I like that too.
Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Just head to aceyourretirement.org and make your plan to start saving for retirement.
Thanks.
That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt, and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Chairman of the Committee on Homeland Security, U.S. Congressman Dr. Mark Green says he expects federal border authorities under the Biden administration to have encountered 10 million migrants by the end of this summer. It's a number that's never been seen in 2-term presidential administrations, let alone one. According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection data, federal agents encountered more than 248,000 migrants at the U.S.'s southern and northern borders in April, bringing the fiscal year 2024 total to nearly 2 million. In the fiscal year 2024 total to nearly 2 million. And since President Biden took office, more than 9.5 million migrants have been encountered at our nation's borders. It is unbelievable that we are on track to hit 10 million encounters nationwide before this fiscal year is even over. And that doesn't count the roughly 2 million or more known gotaways on this administration's watch, Green wrote in a statement to the Washington Examiner. Earlier this year, Green introduced articles of impeachment against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas for his handling of the border crisis. The House ultimately impeached Mayorkas. However, the Senate did not hold a trial. In the decade leading up to Biden taking office, monthly migrant apprehensions were anywhere from just over 11,000 migrants to 133,000. According to CBP data, in the 43 months since President Biden was sworn in, the average number of encounters of undocumented migrants each month is 198.7 thousand. For Straight Arrow News, I'm Lauren Taylor. If you want more stories.
So that's the Straight Arrow News update, and that is interesting. So he's got 10 million that we know of come through, at least 2 million gotaways. That's 12 million. That's on the soft end. Many think it's closer to 13 to 15 million illegal aliens that have crossed the border into this country or has been flown in, as Biden administration has admitted, into this country illegally. And it's going to affect our future. Have no doubt about that. And as I brought this up yesterday, the interesting thing is the opinion of the people has grown, and which to me is a little shocking. I didn't expect this, but 56% of Americans said they are now in favor of a mass deportation. 56% said they are in favor of a mass deportation of illegal immigrants. That's the highest that's ever been. So this will be interesting to see how this plays out, and if this is going to affect the Biden administration and his potential, being able to seek re-election. A lot of folks have a lot of things they're throwing at the current president, and I think the one thing that I think we all know for sure is he has got a uphill battle because the public opinion is just down on him. And one is the former Home Depot CEO warns Biden's economy created a wrecking ball for the next president. So it's not just the open border and the immigration. It's the economy, stupid. Okay, so the former Home Depot CEO said that the Biden economy created a wrecking ball for the next president. Former Chrysler and Home Depot CEO Bob Nardoli warned the fault lies of the economy and are about ready to crack. Okay, he said the fault lines. Former Chrysler and Home Depot chairman said he warned that the fault lines of the economy are about ready to crack on Monday, adding that the Biden administration's alleged policy missteps could leave a cumbersome mess for the next person who sits in the Oval Office to clean it up. What I've seen, this is his testimony, this is a quote, what I've seen over the past 3.5 years is that a series of debacles and missteps have created a tremendous pressure on the fault lines of our economy, and they're about ready to crack. They keep repeating this, but this is on Fox Business, and whoever gets the next stint in the White House is going to be him. He says, with a wrecking ball in trying to correct the missteps and overspending of this current administration. So we're in for a rough time, I would say. That's why Trump is continuing to lead in the polls. A lot of folks feel he is the only choice, if you will, for us to have a chance at an economy. Now, some more news that dropped this week. Iranian lawmakers claim Tehran now is equipped with nuclear bombs. I repeat, Iranian lawmaker claims Tehran now equipped with nuclear bombs. As you know, their president was taken out. He had a helicopter crash, and they're in the process of mourning his death. There's some saying he was martyred or assassinated. Others saying it was a freak accident. But regardless, he's gone. But the Iranian lawmaker Ahmad Bakashad Ardestani claimed on Friday that Iran possesses nuclear weapons despite the country's formal policy under the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. This statement came shortly after the UN's atomic watchdog highlighted Iran's capacity to produce multiple nuclear bombs. Okay, this is also in Fox News. So speaking, a local media outlet, Ardestani, contradicted the official line that Iran adheres to the agreement, which aims to prevent the nation from developing nuclear arms in exchange for economic sanction relief. So, if you guys remember, under Obama, they were given a lot of freedom, planes of cash, and all kind of help from Mr. Obama. Donald Trump comes in and freezes their assets and freezes Iran's funds. Biden comes in and unfreezes them. Hamas attacks Israel, and que sera, whatever will be is happening, I guess. So you're seeing the free fall and the freaking out of the two different opinions. Now, I know some of you can't do this, but I wish there was a way to try not to be a Democrat, try not to be a Republican, okay, or an independent. Just try to be a freaking American, okay, just for a few minutes, and ask yourself, if Obama and Biden, through their policies, actions, because actions speak louder than words, favor Iran over Israel, is it one of the key issues for me to consider in my next presidential choice? Because if we were to go against Israel, one, biblically, that's a big boo-boo. God says, if you touch my children, I'm going to touch you, and not in a good way. But secondly, we've always been a friend to Israel. There's a lot of partnerships with the continual, and I'm going somewhere with this. If you go look at the cabinet of Obama and the cabinet of Biden, they talk about the DEI, their inclusion and equity and all that. They talk about all the trans people and all the free-thinking people and all those kind of things. But what they don't tell you, they don't have any practicing Jewish people in their administration. The only ones they have are those that either don't practice Jews, like Rahm Emanuel, who went on to be the mayor of Chicago and doesn't care what happens to his people. But there's a huge amount of Palestinian and Muslim believing people in the Democratic Party and in the Obama and the Biden administration. I'm just painting an obvious thing. And if you look at that, not only, you need to understand this, the Palestinian movement doesn't want to just silence Israel. They want to silence Christians. Now, Donald Trump tried with the Abrahamic Accord to bring peace. And in Dubai, they built the three temples, the synagogue, the mosque, and the Catholic Church, all there together, worshiping the one God, and they were all different descendants of Abraham, called the Abraham Accord, because they believed Christianity came out from Judaism, which technically it did, because Jesus was a Jew. But Donald Trump was trying hard, and he moved, don't you remember, our capital, our embassy to Jerusalem, the capital. He's the first president to do such a bold act. So Trump was trying to increase our partnership with Israel. The Biden administration tried to interfere with the election of Netanyahu. Chuck Schumer, who's a New York Jew, called for Netanyahu to be replaced and to have a new election. So the few Jews that are in the Democratic Party, they are not pro-Israel, and they're not practicing Jewish faith. At least that's what it appears from their wording and from their actions. So what's that say? When you are looking at your next presidential choice, if you are a globalist and you want to think globally, the one global thing you should think is, hey, who do you want to line up with, Iran or Israel? It's a big decision to make. Because Iran, if you understand anything about the Muslim faith, their desire is to conquer the world. Their desire is to replace all religions, and there'll be a mass jihad when that opportunity comes. So it's not just Christians, Hindus, any other religion other than Muslim. If you're a true Muslim and you believe in the jihad, when that's called for to eradicate all religions. Anyone that doesn't bow to Muhammad and pledge your loyalty, you're gone. This is Macil Duncan's show. I'll be back after the break.
I just wanted to share that I love the radio show that Macil does. He just tells it like it is, which is so refreshing for a media outlet. He has an easygoing and uplifting personality, and he just makes you feel like you're a friend sitting in their living room talking. He does not fall for the gaslighting of today, and he shares the truth of the matter. I love his sense of humor, and his sound effects are great, like when he whistles, cracks me up. He has so much wisdom, and his variety of guests is just awesome. I learn a lot from his show. He does his research, obviously. So I just really wanted to say thank you, Chattanooga Radio. I just love this show. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
It's a new day in Chattanooga. This is WVMG Chattanooga.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey. We're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder, and our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other and build family memories we will carry with us forever. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. It's easy. Just put in your zip code to find family-friendly outdoor destinations near you. You'll also find guides to free activities, games, and amazing forest facts. Give the magic of the outdoors to your kids and reconnect with your family. Find a forest near you at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
President Biden is sharply criticizing the request for an arrest warrant for several Israeli leaders, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, from an international criminal court prosecutor. In a speech from the Rose Garden, Biden rejected the idea that Israel was committing genocide and says the International Criminal Court was wrongly comparing atrocities committed by Hamas to Israel's actions defending itself.
Let me be clear. We reject the ICC's application for arrest warrants against Israeli leaders. Whatever these warrants may imply, there is no equivalence between Israel and Hamas. But let me be clear. Contrary to allegations against Israel made by the International Court of Justice, what's happening is not genocide. We reject that.
The top prosecutor of the International Court called for global arrest warrants for Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Hamas leaders on charges of crimes against humanity. Israel is accused of deliberately targeting civilians in Gaza. Netanyahu denies the charges, saying the prosecutor is trying to compare Israel to Hamas. If the court's judges approve the warrant, then Netanyahu could face arrest in any country that's party to the court, which includes most of Europe.
So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out, and if anyone is going to have the courage, if you will, to try to arrest the leader of Israel. Now, Netanyahu strikes back. Israel's prime minister denounces the International Criminal Court after warrants filed against him and Defense Minister Gallant. Now, in a fiery rebuke, the Prime Minister Netanyahu has vehemently denounced the International Criminal Court after its prosecutor Karim Khan issued arrest warrants against him and his defense minister, labeling the ICC's action as moral outrage. Netanyahu defended Israel's military actions against the Hamas. Now, the International Criminal Court on Monday filed an arrest warrant. Now, what is interesting is the Clooneys. Yes, George the Clooney, the actor, and his wife evidently were lobbying and pushed this issue and wanted to see this arrest warrant issued. So the next time you see the Clooneys, why don't you give them the Heisman and say, listen, you know, since you want to get involved in global politics and see world leaders arrested and treated unkindly, I tell you what, how about you just watch your own movies by your freaking self, because I don't want to watch anything that George Clooney is a part of. Well, in also the news, if you haven't heard, Katy Perry's leaving American Idol.
Katy Perry just announced she will not be returning as an American Idol judge after the season. She made the announcement on Jimmy Kimmel Live Monday night, saying she loves American Idol, but says she also wants to go around the world and maybe bring back some new music. Perry has been on American Idol as a judge for the past 7 seasons.
And if you didn't know, American Idol did crown its winner Sunday night, and Abby, the young lady that won, congratulations to her. But I kind of liked Will. I don't know if you guys like the dude, the country guy. And also Jack. I mean, there was a lot of good contestants. Me and my wife got a kick out of watching American Idol. But there was a lot of good talent this year and a lot of kids professing Christ. So it was rather interesting as you see American Idol. It's wrapping up. And anyway, Katy Perry stepping down as judge. They've not announced who will take her place, but she's also said, keep my seat warm. I didn't say I wouldn't come back. So maybe down the road she has a change of heart and says, hey, I'd like to come back and be a part of what's going on there. Not know for sure. But anyway, interesting stuff there. But here's the one on George Clooney's wife allegedly involved with Netanyahu's arrest warrant request. See what you think.
Welcome back. The Biden administration is being criticized this morning for offering condolences to Iran in an official statement from the State Department following the death of Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi, who was killed in a helicopter crash along with the country's foreign minister this weekend. Look at this. On the death of Iranian President Raisi and others, the U.S. expresses official condolences. This is what this memo says. Spokesperson Matthew Miller was grilled on this move yesterday. Watch this.
What exactly is official condolences?
It's condolences on behalf of the United States government.
I'm not even sure why you're offering condolences if this guy was as bad as you say he was.
Because we regret any loss of life.
Aren't you sending contradictory messages?
Absolutely not. We were asked for assistance by the Iranian government. We did make clear to them that we would offer assistance, and ultimately, largely for logistical reasons, we weren't able to provide that assistance.
Crucial distinction between the death squad and the bomber pilot. We're learning also, General, that George Clooney's wife, Amal, a Lebanese human rights lawyer, and we're learning also, General, that George Clooney's wife. We're learning also, General, that George Clooney's wife. We're learning also, General, that George Clooney's wife. We're learning also, General, that George Clooney's wife, Amal, a Lebanese human rights lawyer and co-founder of the Clooney Foundation for Justice, helped convince the ICC prosecutors to move forward with the arrest warrant for Netanyahu. Your reaction?
Well, I'm sure there's lots of people like her and others, who are obviously supporting this. There's 4 or 5 countries in the world, led by South Africa, Bolivia, and others, that appealed to the ICC that Israel was committing genocide. Listen, there is a huge undercurrent of anti-Semitism in the world, and, the veil of mystery has been pulled away from it. There's a wound, and the scab is exposed out there, and it's horrific to see it on full display here by an international body, certainly, and by others who are purporting a falsehood that Israel is committing genocide.
So, what say you, America? Do you believe, like the Clooneys? Now, it sounds like when you listen to her pedigree, she has other, if you want to call it, interest here. Here again about the Clooney and her little resume.
Founder of the Clooney Foundation for Justice.
Hang on, back up just a tad here.
Wall Street Journal writes, the ICC disgraces itself over Israel. This morning's op-ed from the editorial board, the International Criminal Court has lost more than the plot. In requesting arrest warrants on Monday for Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and his defense chief, alongside a trio of Hamas leaders responsible for October 7th, the ICC has lost sight of the crucial distinction between the death squad and the bomber pilot. We're learning also, General, that George Clooney's wife, Amal, a Lebanese human rights lawyer and co-founder of the Clooney Foundation for Justice, helped convince the ICC prosecutors to move forward with the arrest warrant.
So Amal Clooney, who is a lawyer, and she, it's obvious she leans left, if not far left progressive. So the Clooneys, not the people that you really want to hang with, if you're with me. Blaze Media reports a very sick truth. Was I molested? I think so. Snoop's update on Ashley Biden's diary. Fact check spells trouble for Joe Biden. Hello, Porno Joe. The entry in a sexual trauma section concerning Joe Biden's alleged inappropriate behavior towards his daughter was evidently real all along. Amy Harris moved into the former residence of Ashley Biden in Delray Beach, Florida, 2020, just as Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop containing damning information at a Delaware computer repair shop. Ashley Biden diary was discovered containing troubling allegations that implicated the then presidential candidate Joe the Biden of possible abuse, that he liked to take showers with her and keep her naked while he exposed himself and his genitalia. After finding the diary, Harris worked in concert with Robert Kurland to sell the document. Ultimately, Project Veritas, Kurland, and Harris pleaded guilty years later to conspiracy to transport supposedly stolen property across state lines. Project Veritas refrained from publishing it, both out of concern for doing more harm to Ashley Biden than her father had already done through the sexual exploits discovered in the diary. The National File, however, published a digital copy it's allegedly received from the Project Veritas employee October 2020. And as you know, Project Veritas distanced itself from its founder, O'Keefe, who now has founded his new organization. But this was one of the key reasons they distanced themselves, was because of lawsuits and the concerns from now President Joe the Biden and the Department of Justice and Merrick the Garland. So this is quite interesting that has now been verified, even Snoops. The headline in Blaze Media, was I molested? I think so. Snoop's update on Ashley Biden's diary. Fact check spells trouble for Joe Biden. You know, I do not condone any type of child molestation. That it's sick. But it's a whole nother level of sick when you do it to your own kid. This guy. I hush. We'll go to the break before I say something I regret.
It's a new day in Chattanooga. This is WVMG Chattanooga.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder, and our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other and build family memories we will carry with us forever. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. It's easy. Just put in your zip code to find family-friendly outdoor destinations near you. You'll also find guides to free activities, games, and amazing forest facts. Give the magic of the outdoors to your kids and reconnect with your family. Find a forest near you at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
I'm 54, so basically, it's too late to start saving for retirement, right?
Not right. Starting to save, even in your 50s, can really make a difference.
Well, right now, saving seems hard to wrap my head around. Plus, with the way this year's been going...
Hey, listen, it's okay. You still got this. Just go to aceyourretirement.org. It's an online tool from AARP that can help you get your retirement savings on track no matter your age. It's free and only takes about 3 minutes.
I like 3 minutes.
Yeah, at aceyourretirement.org, you'll chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer a few questions and you'll get a personalized plan and tips to help boost your retirement savings. Tips that are easy to understand and tailored to your lifestyle.
I like that too.
Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Just head to aceyourretirement.org and make your plan to start saving for retirement.
Thanks.
That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean. And there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
World Economic Forum Chairman Klaus Schwab announced in an email he was stepping down from his role as executive chairman. He founded the World Economic Forum in 1971. Schwab will transition from executive chairman to chairman of the Board of Trustees by January 2025. World Economic Forum Chairman Klaus Schwab announced in an email he was stepping down from his role as executive chairman. He founded the World Economic Forum in 1971. Schwab will transition from executive chairman to chairman of the Board of Trustees.
So interesting stuff there. The World Economic Forum And as I mentioned earlier, do you remember Zelensky, the president of the Ukraine, made a statement that up in Davos back in January, he said Trump is living rent-free in all these leaders' heads. All they're doing is worrying what they're going to do or how Trump will affect their plans. Because, see, Trump is a nationalist and they're globalist. And there is a big difference between national and globalism. And there's a lot of labeling and a lot of stuff going on. So this is what I've got to ask you. Does anyone think, do you agree with my hypothesis that Merrick Garland is possibly going after conservatives because he is upset that he did not get made on the Supreme Court by the GOP? Let's listen to a few of my clips I got. See if you agree with me.
The Justice Department is a fundamental institution of our democracy. People depend on us to ensure that our investigations and our prosecutions are conducted according to the facts and the law and without political influence.
Wow.
Are conducted according to the facts and the law and without political influence.
That's a lie.
We have gone to extraordinary lengths to ensure that the committees get responses to their legitimate requests. But this is not one. To the contrary, this is one that would harm our ability in the future to successfully pursue sensitive investigations.
So a lot of people are concerned that Merrick Garland is on a bit of a grudge hunt. Now, see if you guys, that was him trying to explain here recently that, you know, you've got to have this fair and balanced approach. Well, this was Merrick Garland. This was 8 years ago when he was announced by your former president, Barack Hussein Obama, as to be the nominee to replace Judge Scalia, who was found dead at a hunting ranch with a pillow over his face, and there was no autopsy.
President Obama will nominate federal appeals court Judge Merrick Garland to the Supreme Court. Garland comes to the courts as a longtime jurist and former prosecutor known as a consensus builder. Garland is the Chief Justice
Known as a consensus builder. Did you catch that?
of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit, whose influence over federal
District of Columbia. That's D.C.
federal policy and national security matters made him a top choice as a Supreme Court justice. Garland would replace Justice Antonin Scalia, a conservative standard-bearer for decades whose death last month is leaving behind a bitter election year fight over the future of the court. The 63-year-old Ivy League-educated Garland is seen as a departure from Obama's last two Supreme Court nominees, Elena Kagan and Sonia Sotomayor. Garland has a reputation of being a centrist on criminal defense and national security cases.
So he's been, at least they were trying to float him as a centrist, if you will, not an extreme leftist. And this is him with Barry Soetoro accepting, I'm sorry, you know him as Barack Obama. His birth name's Barry Soetoro. This is him accepting the nomination with a little bit of emotion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the greatest honor of my life.
Did you hear that? And listen, he's emotional.
President, this is the greatest honor of my life. This is the greatest honor of my life. This is the greatest honor of my life.
Now, I have advocated that he has now, when they would not affirm him, this guy, you could tell he wanted this. This was on his bucket list to be on the Supreme Court. He had paid his dues. He had jumped through the hoops, and that stupid old GOP denied him. So when he became Attorney General, he went after them. Again, listen to the emotion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the greatest honor of my life. Other than Lynn agreeing to marry me 28 years ago. It's also the greatest gift I've ever received, except, and there's another caveat, the birth of our daughters, Jessie and Becky. Fidelity to the Constitution and the law has been the cornerstone of my professional life. And it is the hallmark of the kind of judge I have tried to be for the past 18 years.
So a lot of emotion there, okay? Now, Obama nominated him, and he only had like 9 months left in his office, and Mitch McConnell said, no, I don't think so. But when Donald Trump was looking for an FBI director, guess who Mitch McConnell suggested? Check this out.
We're also hearing from Senator Mitch McConnell about this. Interestingly, and what might be a big surprise to many, Senator McConnell is weighing in on who he thinks should be FBI director. Take a listen to this.
Yeah, actually, I have spoken with the president about it. I recommended Merrick Garland. About it, I recommended Merrick Garland. With the president about it, I recommended Merrick Garland. About it, I recommended Merrick Garland.
It might surprise some people.
Yeah, it may surprise people, but he has a deep background in criminal law. He was the prosecutor in the Oklahoma City bombing case. And I think it would make it clear that President Trump will continue the tradition at the FBI of having an apolitical professional.
So Mitch McConnell trying to make up a little bit because he kind of wrecked the guy's nomination. Now, this was why Mitch McConnell bragged about that he blocked a lot of the judge appointments on the Sean Hannity show. He's laughing and bragging. If you remember when Donald Trump came into office, there were 300 federal judgeships and there was a Supreme Court vacancy, Justice Scalia's. So he had to fill that. He ended up putting 3 people on the Supreme Court because Justice Ginsburg, who died and was not announced dead for, about 8 months because they were trying to keep her from being replaced. But Donald Trump got her. The GOP showed a little bit of two-facedness. They put in Amy Coney Barrett in the wee hours of Donald Trump's term, but they wouldn't do it for Obama. Pure policy. And the Democrats would have done the same thing. Don't even act like you wouldn't. But this is McConnell kind of bragging that he intentionally blocked judge appointments. So this tells you what they do. McConnell laughs about blocking Barack Obama. He is the leader of the Senate at this time. And to boast about how he blocked former President Barack Obama's federal judge picks for 2 years.
I was shocked that former President Obama left so many vacancies and didn't try to fill those positions.
I'll tell you why. I was in charge of the of what we did. I was in charge of the of what we did. I was in charge of the of what we did the last 2 years of the Obama administration.
I will give you full credit for that.
So it was not just Obama's federal judge nominees that McConnell obstructed. He successfully prevented Obama's Supreme Court pick Merrick Garland.
I think it's safe to say there will not be hearings or votes. There will not be hearings or say there will not be hearings or votes. I think it is also safe to say the next president, whoever that may be, is going to be the person who chooses the next Supreme Court justice.
The Senate has confirmed 50 president judges, and as you guys know, Donald Trump went on to appoint more federal judges than any president in a term, his first term. And so this is interesting. So would you agree with me? Could you entertain the thought that Merrick Garland is a little bit on, if you want to call it, a witch hunt to go after, because he's a little upset with the GOP. They withheld him from being able to, his dream job of being on the court. Now, the reason I mention that is breaking. Newly unsealed documents reveal Biden's FBI authorized to use deadly force during the Mar-a-Lago raid. Armed agents prepared to confront Donald Trump. I repeat, newly released unsealed documents reveal that Biden's FBI, and that would be Merrick Garland's FBI, has the permission to use deadly force when they went to Mar-a-Lago raid. Joe Biden was ready to have his main political rival, Donald Trump, and his family, if need be, persuaded with gunfire. Judge Aileen Cannon on Tuesday unsealed numerous motions related to Jack Smith's classified documents case against Trump, One filing revealed Biden's FBI authorized to use deadly force during the raid on Mar-a-Lago in August of 2022. So when the judge revealed this, I believe between this and the craziness of the New York case, the poo show just continues to stink. So Julie Kelly reports tons of new unsealed filings on classified docs case, and she's posting, but the FBI authorized the use of deadly force at Mar-a-Lago. And here is the point 4 on the release by the judge. According to the operation order produced in discovery, the FBI believed its objective for the Mar-a-Lago raid was to seize classified information, NDI, U.S. government record, yada, 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 code, order to obtain policy statements, blah, blah, blah. Law enforcement officers of the Department of Justice may use deadly force if necessary in the raid of Mar-a-Lago. It's right there in a federal document released by the judge, a federal judge, mind you, and that was Jack Smith. He didn't want us to know that. I wonder why.
This is Greg Lane. I live in Hickson, Tennessee, and I just want to tell you how much I enjoy the Macil Duncan radio show. Man, I like to listen to it because he talks facts. I love the guy because he loves Jesus, and it's where I go to find out information what's going on in the world. But just awesome. I'm glad you guys have him on there, and just keep on keeping on. We love Macil Duncan. This is Greg Lane from Hickson, Tennessee.
It's a new day in Chattanooga. This is WVMG Chattanooga.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder, and our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other and build family memories we will carry with us forever. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. It's easy. Just put in your zip code to find family-friendly outdoor destinations near you. You'll also find guides to free activities, games, and amazing forest facts. Give the magic of the outdoors to your kids and reconnect with your family. Find a forest near you at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
I'm 54, so basically, it's too late to start saving for retirement, right?
Not right. Starting to save, even in your 50s, can really make a difference.
Well, right now, saving seems hard to wrap my head around. Plus, with the way this year's been going...
Hey, listen, it's okay. You still got this. Just go to aceyourretirement.org. It's an online tool from AARP that can help you get your retirement savings on track no matter your age. It's free and only takes about 3 minutes.
I like 3 minutes.
Yeah, at aceyourretirement.org, you'll chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer a few questions and you'll get a personalized plan and tips to help boost your retirement savings. Tips that are easy to understand and tailored to your lifestyle.
I like that too.
Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Just head to aceyourretirement.org and make your plan to start saving for retirement.
Thanks.
That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt, and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place.
Well,
She
here in
can
the nation's
STEM,
capital,
so
a
can you.
pro-life.
Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Well, here in the nation's capital, a pro-lifer was sentenced to more than 4 years in prison for violating the FACE Act. This comes after Lauren Handy was part of a rescue at a local abortion business. Her attorneys say they will appeal the conviction. Let's bring in Martin Cannon, a lawyer from the Thomas More Society who represented Lauren Handy. Martin, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it. First off, how is Lauren doing? And can you tell us why you say this conviction is, quote, a miscarriage of justice?
Well, your first question, how's she doing? She's amazing. She was all smiles and joking around and laughing with me when I visited her after the hearing today. We went down into the visiting room in the jail at the courthouse. She's just remarkable, and she's very pleased with the sentence. You know, she was expecting 78 months, and she got 57 months instead. She's already got 9 of those months served, so she's really looking at 4 years, and there are ways that she'll get that pared down, and she thinks she'll be out in about 2. But having said that, 2 years and 9 months plus 3 years of supervised release is a very long sentence for an event like this. We gave the court about half a dozen cases with far more egregious conduct under the same statute, and most of the sentences were 1 to 2 years.
So, my friends, how many of you think this was egregious, if you will, that a pro-lifer, she was given, right at 4.5 years for praying? It's getting a little ridiculous as we all just have to take a breath and take a step back and say this is happening in America. People are being put in prison because they have a difference of opinion on an election, January 6th, or if you don't agree with a policy such as abortion. Now, they can rally at the college campuses all over the country. Antifa can throw Molotov cocktails. They can have what they call the Summer of Love up in Oregon, which was nothing but several months of chaos, assault. If you remember, they were using the lasers to put and blind several police officers. One was blinded in one eye for the rest of his life because they were using lasers in the police officer's eyes. They were using homemade weaponry, if you will, hurling them. How come none of them got arrested? How come none of them are doing time? How come the media never even mentioned their name? Do you find that odd? Well, as I was looking at some different articles here, let's see if I can find this one. There was one that was mentioned where the DNC was told their staffers, remove your name tags and remove any badges that identify who you are and wear a mask when you go to protest. Now, isn't that interesting? So that's in the Gateway Pundit. The Democrats have a memo that said remove your IDs, name tags, and wear a mask to avoid being identified. They know they're not going to get prosecuted. I brought this up before. Do you remember back when Antifa did their first anti-Trump rally, and they were wearing their black outfits, their mask, if you will, and they were breaking windows and causing all kind of havoc and disturbances. And the first round, they were officially arrested, but the vice president candidate for Hillary Clinton, Kaine, it was his name, Tim Kaine, is it? His son got arrested, and his mugshot got put across the news. After that mugshot, none of them got arrested again. They didn't want to take the chance because a lot of people have the belief that a lot of these Democrats are using family members and friends to instigate and keep a lot of this protesting going, and they don't want to be exposed. Now, again, why is it that the Democratic Party created the KKK, masking themselves to go after black people? Why is it that the Democratic Party initiated Black Lives Matter, trying to get folks to hate white people? Why is it that the Democratic Party initiated the Antifa movement, again, masking yourself and going after people? Why is it that they also, the corporate thing when they went down and sat against Occupy Wall Street, that was the Democratic Party. Why did they fund all these protests and this disruption and nobody goes to jail? Can you name anybody that's gone to jail through these Democratic stunts? And they always happen right before a presidential election. Go back and look at the cycle. Every 4 years, the Democrats come up with some new crazy group, and this year happened to be the Palestinians going against Israel. What will it be in 2028? Be smart, my friends. Try to not be a Democrat or Republican all the time. Speaking of corruption, exposing corruption, Challenger accuses District Attorney Fannie the Wanny Willis down in Georgia of misusing $2.5 million on flawed projects. Demands Willis to resign immediately after Congress launches second investigation. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie the Wanny Willis, who had the lover, Mr. Wade, as her paid travel associate and sex toy, the high-profile prosecutor in President Donald Trump's election interference case, has been hit with severe allegations of fund mismanagement by her challenger. Christian Y. Smith, an experienced prosecutor himself, has called for Willis' immediate resignation following revelations of a second congressional investigation into her office's financial practices. Republican Senators Chuck Grassley from Iowa and Ron Johnson from Wisconsin have initiated a second congressional investigation into the alleged misappropriation of the funds. The senators accuse Willis of diverting funds meant for at-risk youth and gang prevention towards purchasing computers and swag. And that was also in one of the whistleblower statements. A lady that used to be her roommate and dear friend has said that she was misusing what the funds were. You know, these federal grants, when you get them, you have to use the money you've appealed for the federal grant. When you go buy swag or use it on trips, that's illegal. You're supposed to go to jail when you break the law. The Justice Department Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention granted nearly $500,000 to the Fulton County District Attorney Office of 2020. The grant was meant to be established at the Fulton County Center of Youth Empowerment and Gang Prevention, aimed at providing professional development, academic mentorship, and community networking for young people at risk of gang activity. However, despite the grant, reports have suggested that the center remains unopened and the building was closed to the public because the funds were diverted for Fannie the Wanny Willis and some of her exploits with Mr. Wade on their bow trips. Amanda Tipson, former director in gang prevention and intervention for the Fulton County DA's office, reportedly warned Willis, and this is on tape, about plans within her office to use those funds that the grant was for gang prevention funding on illegitimate expenses such as MacBooks and travel and other things called swag And she met with Fannie Willis and tape recorded her meetings, by the way. And anyway, in addition to this grant, the Fulton County DA's office received $2 million in federal funding through the Office of Justice Program's Sexual Assault Kit Initiative. This funding was intended to address the problem of unsubmitted sexual assault kits and assist law enforcement and procedures in solving these crimes. Grassley and Johnson alleged that around 49% of the funding was spent on travel and conference expenses from 2020 to 2023, and only 28% spent on professional services like forensic DNA testing. Wowzer. Fannie the Wanny Willis, if this is true, you need to go to jail. I'll be back.
My name's Doug Henshaw. I'm calling from northeast Tennessee, what they call the Tri-Cities area, Bristol, Kingsport, Johnson City. I live in a little town called Elizabethton, and I listen to the Macil Duncan show, number one, because he approaches everything with a biblical worldview in mind, and by saying that, I mean he really seeks and researches to try to find the truth about a matter, and the motivation of why people do what they do, and just seeks the truth. And his sources are very reliable sources that he depends upon, and he just gives us the world through the biblical lens of a biblical worldview. That's number one reason why I listen to the show. And I love America because of our founding and our freedoms that we share. We live in the greatest country in the world, and we need to really pray and fight for what we have, and to move back towards what makes us great as America, and that is our founding and what we believe in, a belief in God. And so I love the Patriot Pastor show, now the Macil Duncan show. I listen to it on a regular basis, and I pray for the show and pray for Brother Macil.
It's a new day in Chattanooga. This is WVMG Chattanooga.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey. We're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder, and our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other and build family memories we will carry with us forever. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. It's easy. Just put in your zip code to find family-friendly outdoor destinations near you. You'll also find guides to free activities, games, and amazing forest facts. Give the magic of the outdoors to your kids and reconnect with your family. Find a forest near you at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
World Economic Forum Chairman Klaus Schwab announced in an email he was stepping down from his role as executive chairman. He founded the World Economic Forum in 1971. Schwab will transition from executive chairman to chairman of the Board of Trustees by January 2025. World Economic Forum Chairman Klaus Schwab announced in an email he was stepping down from his role as executive chairman.
So we got the World Economic Forum, the founder, that is, in 1971, Klaus Schwab, who famously said a few things. One is, you'll own nothing and be happy. He also said that the future, you won't need a computer screen or keyboard. Everything will be in your mind. You will see and be able to think emails and text messaging and such. He said the chip implants. So the Klaus Schwab is stepping down. Interesting, and it was done by email, which has got, of course, the speculations going. What encouraged this, and why would he do such a thing? Here again is Klaus Schwab, and see if you guys remember him saying some of these words.
The fourth industrial revolution is a combination of...
He says the fourth industrial revolution is a combination of technology breakthroughs. I don't know if you can understand him.
Of technological breakthroughs, which will completely change business models, society, economies. Fourth industrial revolution is coming with enormous speed and will change not only what we are doing, but who we are.
So he's saying the fourth revolution is coming fast. It'll not only change what we do, but who we are. With AI, supercomputers, of course, we've got social media, you've got the internet, a lot of things connecting us, and he goes on to talk about those things. This is the Klaus Schwab, also talking about the world, when he said this, will grow more together in the digital age. We're becoming more interdependent. So interesting as he says this. See what you think.
The world will grow more together in the digital age. The world will grow more together, more together, more together, more together in the digital age. We are becoming more interdependent. We will have not less, we will have more globalization.
So that's why they hate Donald Trump, you see. Donald Trump is a MAGA, make America great again. He's not make globalism great again. That's the difference, whether you want to admit it or not. The bottom line is globalism versus nationalism. So they're trying to shame, if you watch some of these stupid videos and they're trying to redefine nationalism as if you are a racist and if you want everyone to speak your own language and be look just like you, that's not nationalism. Now, nationalism is someone that's proud of their country, their nationality. That's okay. There's not a problem with that. Okay, Savvy? So you've got this Klaus Schwab who has stepped down as the leader of the World Economic Forum, and a lot of folks are, just asking those questions. Why is that? And it's going to be interesting to see. Well, the Democrats were told not to wear their mask, remove their IDs before anti-protesting. This is on Fox News, the Faulkner Focus. Why all the secrecy among the Democrats? Why must they wear masks? Why must they remove their IDs? Are they afraid of being identified as radicals?
Okay, so it's happening again. The Democrat divide over the Israel policy has been exposed. Yesterday, the House passed a bill condemning President Biden's pause on sending certain weapons to Israel, and progressive House staffers, many were wearing masks, protested that vote on Capitol Hill. There's no outbreak of anything outside, so I don't really know what that was about, but maybe they don't want to be seen.
Yeah, why would they all wear masks? There's been no official COVID rebirth. The bird flu is in, it's not been announced yet. That's supposed to be the coming shabam bam. So why are they wearing masks at protest? The Faulkner Focus has a good point.
Some House Republicans held a counter demonstration and had this message.
The American people didn't elect these staffers. They elected their representatives. Their representatives are here. They have a right to vote how they want. If these staffers don't like that, then they should resign. They should be fired immediately.
16 House Democrats joined the majority of Republicans to pass that bill, and some headlines summing it up. Republicans forced Democrats to take sides on Biden's Israel policy, and fuming pro-Israel Democrats blast shameless GOP vote. Senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill to set it up even further. Chad.
Harris, good morning. It's rare to see aides challenge their own party. The demonstration was very brief. There was no confrontation. Organizers advised the aides to remove their congressional ID badges and wear masks.
So they were told to remove their ID badges and wear masks. Why? What's the big deal? Why all the secrecy? Because again, I tell you, don't forget it was the Democrats that created the KKK, wearing hoods, right, burning crosses, being intimidators to the Negro race right after the Civil War. It was the Democrats. Please go look it up. It was the Democrats that founded Planned Parenthood. If you go look at Sanger's, her number one priority was to extinguish the Negro race. Please try to prove me wrong. It was the Democrats that founded Antifa. Again, wearing masks, causing damage, trying to hide your identity. Why are they allowed to continue to do that and no one goes to jail? No one goes to jail. And I think a lot of folks are concerned because you see then conservatives go to jail and you see pro-lifers go to jail, and you're going, why is it that a pro-lifer is sentenced to jail for just praying?
Nation's capital, a pro-lifer was sentenced to more than 4 years in prison for violating the FACE Act.
4 years in prison. Now, this is News Nightly that just announced this last night. So the lady that was saying prayers in the abortion clinic, it was charged with the FACE Act. What is the FACE Act? That's when you do something that's violently and intimidating to someone else's free speech. So again, this is how they treat a Christian person that was praying at an abortion clinic.
Here in the nation's capital, a pro-lifer was sentenced to more than 4 years in prison for violating the FACE Act.
So violating the FACE Act. Now, Democrats are told to put on masks and hide again.
Confrontation. Organizers advised the aides to remove their congressional ID badges. To remove their congressional ID badges and wear masks. To remove their congressional ID badges and wear masks. To remove their congressional ID badges and wear masks.
Why all the secrecy, Mr. and Mrs. Democrat? I mean, are we playing peekaboo, I see you? What's going on? Marco Polo, what's the deal? Is this a game? Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff, but we'll see what happens at the end of this. Feminism lied to a generation of women. Now they're realizing what they actually want. This is in the Daily Wire today. You might want to check that article out. But is feminism being lied to? Over the past few years, I have discussed the pitfalls of feminism many times over. Recently, Gen Z has taken the spotlight for straying from the millennial gridlock trajectory in favor of the different avenues. So what you're seeing here is a lot of people questioning what is feminism anymore, because you're allowing men into the world of female sports. Title IX getting the adjustment, not through the law. See, you're supposed to create a law by going through Congress and Senate. Biden went to the Secretary of Education and tried to doctor up the law using a bully pulpit. Not good. Not good. I'll be back after the break.
It's a new day in Chattanooga. This is WVMG Chattanooga.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder, and our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other and build family memories we will carry with us forever. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. It's easy. Just put in your zip code to find family-friendly outdoor destinations near you. You'll also find guides to free activities, games, and amazing forest facts. Give the magic of the outdoors to your kids and reconnect with your family. Find a forest near you at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
I'm 54, so basically, it's too late to start saving for retirement, right?
Not right. Starting to save, even in your 50s, can really make a difference.
Well, right now, saving seems hard to wrap my head around. Plus, with the way this year's been going...
Hey, listen, it's okay. You still got this. Just go to aceyourretirement.org. It's an online tool from AARP that can help you get your retirement savings on track no matter your age. It's free and only takes about 3 minutes.
I like 3 minutes.
Yeah, at aceyourretirement.org, you'll chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach. Just answer a few questions and you'll get a personalized plan and tips to help boost your retirement savings. Tips that are easy to understand and tailored to your lifestyle.
I like that too.
Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back. Just head to aceyourretirement.org and make your plan to start saving for retirement.
Thanks.
That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt, and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
We've got reports that come May 2nd, what we've all known as Graceland, Elvis's mansion, is up for auction. The granddaughter, Lisa Marie's daughter, is trying to fight that, but evidently they owe money they can't pay, and so it's going to be auctioned off. The Graceland mansion, all the stuff, all the gift shops, the whole schmear. May 2nd. If you got a big checkbook and you're an Elvis fan, you might want to go check that out. But it's rather shocking. A lot of folks are rather, I guess, upset, if you will, because Graceland's is an icon. It's historic. Some people really love Elvis, and I know my father is a big Elvis fan. And Don't Be Cruel, he ain't nothing but a hound dog. A lot of great hits. But anyway, Graceland is being auctioned May 2nd. There has been an appeal to have that hold by the granddaughter. We'll see what happens. Interesting stuff. Well, Patricia Heaton, you remember she is the lady from Everybody Loves Raymond movie star, if you will. Actress, she commented on Harrison Buckner's commencement speech, and she went on to say nothing is offensive what he said. Of course, now she is a born-again Christian, and she is one that also walked out, if you remember, it's probably been almost 10 years ago, when they were at one of the Hollywood Awards things. She got up and left because they were being so blatantly, the host was, against Christians and moral issues. But Everybody Loves Raymond actress Patricia Heaton defended the commencement speech given by Kansas City Chief kicker Harrison Buckner, which has been getting so much attention. Critics have been coming to the NFL player going after him for voicing his opinion on abortion, COVID, and President Joe Biden. He actually is being mocked for his statements. And for women, he said homemaking is not a bad thing. And he also said in his speech that most girls in the audience probably are not thinking of titles and promotions. They're thinking about marriage and having children. And some of them took great offense to this. Buckner gave the address at the Benedictine College, a Catholic university in Kansas. Anyway, Heaton said this: I don't understand why everybody's knickers are in a twist. He gave a commencement speech, the actress said in an Instagram video posted on Sunday. The audience applauded twice during the speech and gave him a standing ovation at the end, so clearly they enjoyed what he had to say, which is true. But not only that, the shaming has been unreal. Now, his jersey, number 7 for the Kansas City Chief, is now the number 1 selling jersey in the NFL, and he's outsold any jersey this year of 2024. And going into this fall, he's the number 1 jersey, a punter, mind you. He's not the quarterback. Now, Patrick Mahomes is his quarterback, and for the Kansas City Chief, many think currently now he's the best quarterback in the league. Once Tom Brady stepped down finally, Patrick Mahomes has been dubbed the next big quarterback. He's won a couple of Super Bowls. He's young. He's athletic. But Patrick Mahomes, punter, because he has morals and has a conviction about what he believes, has been backed by you and I, the conservative voters. See, you don't just vote on Election Day. You vote with your feet and you vote with your pocketbook. By showing up sometimes at events, going to certain movies like Sound of Freedom or the Jesus Revolution, those kind of movies. And I even went to Top Gun Maverick. I wanted to support a patriotic movie that didn't have any of that minutia in it. It was just a good movie. People are speaking up, and that's what you're seeing. The Caitlin Clark effect. The young lady that's gone into the WNBA and has set all kind of records in attendance. Why? She's a straight kid that doesn't want to be political. She's just going in to play ball. Most of the other ladies in there want to tell you their gay agendas and other things. People don't want to hear that. They just want to see you go play ball. Now you say, well, the punter is telling his agenda. He is. At a commencement speech, just like several of them can tell it at theirs. But to try to call for him to be fired, to be shamed, to be doxxed and all those things, to a point where the Attorney General, now of Kansas City, is saying he is going to look into prosecuting some of these threats on him and his family. Interesting. And the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin, said, if they fire him, I will quit and not participate in the NFL again. I'll end my career. That's how much I believe in what he had to say. Powerful. So don't be so quick to believe the media that we don't have morals in this country. Oh, yes, we do. Oh, yes, we do. And I'm proud of Patricia and all these others that are speaking up and saying, listen, we don't all have to agree, but just because you say the things that you say doesn't mean that I agree with you, and it's okay. So anyway, quickly back to the Daily Wire. Feminism lied to a generation of women. Now they're realizing what they actually want. For women to fight for the right of equal pay, equal treatment on the workforce, all the things they've accomplished, and to get Title IX passed, the battle for women's rights, and to even get, I hate to say it, in the Christian mindset to treat women as equals. Now, I have 3 daughters, and my one daughter, she was at a Christian school I won't name on the air, but she was not allowed to give a tour of the campus if a male at all was involved, even a teenage male, because that would be seen as her having authority over a male. I just had to say, give me a break. And so there's some people that still have the caveman mentality on some things, but women have come a long way. Now, I was at a restaurant eating dinner when I was at First Baptist in Irwin. I was the pastor, and I was spending the day there to ask permission from the owner. Can I tie up this back booth? I sometimes think better when I'm out of the office, have my laptop and my phone. And this young guy was my waiter, and I'd been there for over an hour, and he was refilling my drink. And I said, by the way, if you know anyone at Milligan College, we're looking for a youth minister. I had my head down, and unbeknownst to me, he went off shift, and a young lady named Eliza took over. And Eliza said, well, does it have to be a male? I looked up and said, oh, excuse me, I didn't realize the waiter and waitress had changed. She goes, well, I'm a student at Milligan. I'm studying youth ministry. Would you accept a female application? I said, this is your lucky day. I have 3 daughters, and I know what it's like for girls to have to hammer through the Christian minutiae sometimes to get a fair shake. Yes, I will. Gave her my email. She sent me a resume. Out of the 3 or 4 candidates we got, she ended up getting the job. Did a super job. Eliza was a great minister to those kids. Perfect person for the job. And the reason I say that is it's okay I personally think, for ladies to be in ministry. Now, I'm not advocating for senior pastor role. I still think, I know some of you may not like that, but I will say this. I think it's okay. Now, 9 ways leaders to help lead you. This is something leaders should consider. These are by John Maxwell. Lead yourself exceptionally well. Make sure that you are the example. If you want folks to follow you, you've got to be the leader exceptionally well. Number 2, lighten your leader's load. Okay? When the boss succeeds, the organization succeeds. So if you have folks under you, make sure you do what you can to lighten their load, especially when someone is exceeding and excelling and doing well. Try to take things off them if you can so they can even go to the next level. Be willing, number 3, to do what others won't. Sometimes there's times I have to do things nobody else wants to do, and that's okay. I don't mind doing the things that no one else wants to do. Sometimes by doing that, the other leaders will say, hey, I'm a pastor of a church. I have a lot going on, but I still help set up and tear down when we have big events. I think it's important. They see their pastor out there setting up chairs, tearing down chairs and tables, doing the little things. I take out the garbage sometimes after the mealtime. And I had this one young member say, Pastor, let us do that. I said, I don't mind. So I want them to know I'm not a big shot. I think I'm bigger than them. Do more than manage. Lead. Number 5, invest in relationship chemistry. Make sure you do what you can to make sure there's a chemistry among your team. Spending time, having conversations. Sometimes you need to have one-on-one meetings as well as small group meetings and stuff, but try not to show favoritism if you can. Number 6, be prepared every time you take your leader's time. It's nothing more frustrating than to go to a staff meeting or a meeting and know that the guy leading the meeting is winging it and he's not prepared, or she. And you're going, oh my gosh, I have so many other things to do. Make sure you respect their time by being prepared. Number 7, know when to push and when to back off. There are times, sometimes you've just got to back off. And that takes sensitivity, it takes prayer, it takes some, understanding of the people that you're managing. Not everyone can be managed the same. And I'm a big fan of the 7 love languages, and learn how to fill their tank. Number 8, become a go-to player. All leaders are looking for people who can step up and make a difference when it matters. And when you find those kind of people, make sure you reward them. You don't always have to reward people with money. There's times I've told my staff, hey, take the day off. You've done a great job. I want you to take tomorrow off. And they're like going, are you serious? Yeah, take tomorrow off. Go spend time with your wife. Okay? Or, hey, I'm going to give you this weekend off. Fine. There's ways to reward. It doesn't always have to be a check. Okay? Time, T-I-M-E, is one of the best gifts you can give somebody. Number 9, be better tomorrow than you are today. Have that mindset. I'm going to be better tomorrow than I am today. I'm going to make sure that I'm not a retread. I'm going to be a fresh leader. Hope that helped. Those are some tips from John Maxwell. You can go check out some more if you want online. It's a series I'm going through with my leaders here at Appleton Baptist. I'll be back after the break.
It's a new day in Chattanooga. This is WVMG Chattanooga.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey. Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.3333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder, and our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other and build family memories we will carry with us forever. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. It's easy. Just put in your zip code to find family-friendly outdoor destinations near you. You'll also find guides to free activities, games, and amazing forest facts. Give the magic of the outdoors to your kids and reconnect with your family. Find a forest near you at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Morning. About an hour ago, we learned that President Biden has invoked executive privilege to prevent the American people from hearing the audio recordings of his testimony with Special Counsel Robert Hur. The American people will not be able to hear why prosecutors felt the President of the United States was, in Special Counsel Robert Hur's words, a, quote, elderly man with a poor memory, and thus shouldn't be charged. Just think about that for a moment. President Biden is apparently afraid for the citizens of this country and everyone to hear those tapes. They obviously confirm what the special counsel has found and would likely cause, I suppose, in his estimation, such alarm with the American people that the president is using all of his power to suppress their release. And rather than defend our closest ally at war, President Biden is using his authority to defend himself politically.
So the official thing is the Biden administration is withholding the ability to hear those tapes, and I guess they're pretty damning. He doesn't want you to know, and that's the way I guess they play the games up there in D.C. But playing more games, the Clooney's, George Clooney's wife, is a lawyer, and she had a part in getting the arrest warrant for Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Wall Street Journal writes, the ICC disgraces itself over Israel. This morning's op-ed from the editorial board, the International Criminal Court has lost more than the plot. In requesting arrest warrants on Monday for Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and his defense chief, alongside a trio of Hamas leaders responsible for October 7th, the ICC has lost sight of the crucial distinction between the death squad and the bomber pilot. We're learning also, General, that George Clooney's wife, Amal, a Lebanese human rights lawyer and co-founder of the Clooney Foundation for Justice, helped convince the ICC prosecutors to move forward with the arrest warrant for Netanyahu. Your reaction?
So how about that? George Clooney's wife, Amal Clooney, is a activist lawyer. And she used what influence she has, and I guess with all of his money and their Hollywood, they must have some influence on the international court to issue an arrest warrant for the Prime Minister of Israel. So why is it that the Democrats have such a passion with the Palestinian movement? Go back to Obama. Iran, he gave them all kinds of help, and he gave them the plane loads of cash. And many things, that went on to help them, and a lot of folks were concerned, and a lot of folks were thinking, why is there such a passion to help these folks? And there was no doubt that was happening. So Netanyahu responds very angrily about this, and he strikes back, denouncing the International Criminal Court after warrants filed against him and his defense minister, and he denounced this. The sad thing is there's a lot of countries he could fly to, and they could have him arrested there on the spot with this warrant from these crazy situations. So it's something for us to pray about. I think a lot of folks are going to have to spend some time wrapping their head around this. So the other thing the Iranians have, and they're bragging about, is the ability to have nuclear bombs. That's right. Iranian lawmaker claims Tehran now equipped with nuclear bombs. The Iranian lawmaker claimed on Friday that Iran possesses nuclear weapons, despite the country's formal policy under the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. This statement came shortly after the UN's atomic watchdog highlighted Iran's capacity to produce multiple nuclear bombs, Fox News is reporting. So, this is interesting. So you have the leader, one of the leaders of Iran taken down in a helicopter. You have the Prime Minister of Israel having an arrest warrant put against him. You have Zelensky, who called off elections, and he's now technically an illegitimate leader because he has surpassed his agreed term. but he won't allow the elections to continue in Ukraine. So there's a lot of upheaval, and then you have actors like George Clooney and his wife having such swag with the international court system, they can have an arrest warrant issued for a prime minister of an ally of America. Does this strike you as crazy? Maybe not, because you're saying, well, this is the world we live in. Well, real quick, let me jump to this. Daily Wire is reporting Google, Meta join big tech firms opposing New York online child safety bills. Why would they be against this? Google and Meta have joined other big tech firms to try and kill two New York bills that would protect children from becoming addicted to social media apps. The Stop Addictive Feeds Exploitation, which is SAFE, SAFE spells Stop Addicted Feeds Exploitation for Kids Act, would protect children by limiting social media companies' ability to use addictive feeds, keeping kids addicted to their devices. The act requires parental consent before social media companies offers children addictive feeds and bars social media companies from pushing a notification to children and teens between midnight and 6 a.m. without parental consent. And the New York Child Data Protection Act protects minors from having their personal data accessed. Sounds awful reasonable to me. But evidently it's upsetting to Google, Meta, and which, if you don't know, that's Facebook and Instagram. So they're opposing a child protection action. And we've just got a lot of craziness happening in this world. We need to pray. Because when they're going after the kids, I think we all know that. That's the battlefield. The mind is the battlefield. And when you can mold and shape minds, that's why we're told in Romans chapter 12, verse 2, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. But see, if the social media is allowed to target and through algorithms go after our children and keep them addicted to the social media and their phones, parents, some of you may just have to step in and say, listen, your phone, I know this is the excuse. Well, I need my phone to wake me up in the morning. Mom, Dad, you just say, just tell me what time you get up. I'll make sure you're up. Well, I need to, when the kids give you all the lame excuses, you need to say, listen, sorry. I don't want you texting. I don't want you communicating with other people after a certain time. It's time to go to bed. Okay? Not to mention other things they can find on those phones. Now, the other thing, Blaze Media just exposed that Snoops, which is a liberal Democratic-funded fact-check site, that Ashley Biden was molested. Here's the line. Yes, I was molested. She says, I think so. And the diary found, and the interesting thing is it's a tell-all diary of her sexual exploits with her father. Joe Biden used to like to take showers with his daughter, and when they were both fully naked, even up to awkward years and during her puberty years, he still would like to take naked showers with his daughter. And she wrote in her diary about the, evidently, moments that they had together. And so this was, it's been a fact check. You can go to the Blaze Media and read it more. Project Veritas purchased the diary, which is not illegal. But if it's reported as stolen, that makes it illegal. So there was a battle. They're finding out now that's one of the reason O'Keefe was fired from Project Veritas, because the Biden administration plus the heavy-handed DOJ was threatening him. But if you want to go read that for yourself, the Snoops has verified that the diary is for real, just like the laptop. So you got a crazy first family, okay? And it's rather sad that the Hunter Biden laptop with all the sexual exploits, Ashley Biden's diary with all the stuff about the dad, and for whatever reason, the Democrats were blocking. The media is exposing this. Why now? Many think they're going to make a change at the Democratic convention because they're seeing more and more in the polls, Biden is really slipping pretty bad. And so there's a good chance. There's been talk of Kamala Harris. But here's the thing, as I mentioned earlier in the show, because I was paying attention to this with Robert F. Kennedy, you have to petition each state to have your name on the ballot. So those of you that say to the Q people and all, hey, I thought Michelle Obama was going to be, I don't see how, unless you've got to get so many signatures per state, and every state's different. Some require 3 months, some require up to 6 months notification. You got to jump through hoops to get your name on the ballots. I don't see how, if Michelle Obama is going to be a candidate, how that would have been in 50 different states kept under the rug. But Kamala Harris is on the ballot as the VP. So I'm just saying, I think if they're going to replace Joe, that's the choice they're stuck with at this point. But their convention is early August. We'll see what happens. And there's a good chance. I wish they'd just let Biden and Trump have debates and let it be a fair and square election. Because if they can do American Idol and count 20 to 40 million votes in one night, they should be able to do it. Maybe we ought to have American Idol monitor the presidential election. What do you think?
Why are doctors using
My name's Doug Henshaw. I'm calling from northeast Tennessee, what they call the Tri-Cities area, Bristol, Kingsport, Johnson City. I live in a little town called Elizabethton. And I listen to the Macil Duncan show, number one, because he approaches everything with a biblical worldview in mind. And by saying that, I mean he really seeks and researches to try to find the truth about a matter and the motivation of why people do what they do. And just seeks the truth, and his sources are very reliable sources that he depends upon, and he just gives us the world through the biblical lens of a biblical worldview. That's number one reason why I listen to the show. And I love America because of our founding and our freedoms that we share. We live in the greatest country in the world, and we need to really pray and fight for what we have, and to move back towards what makes us great as America, and that is our founding and what we believe in, a belief in God. And so I love the Patriot Pastor show, now the Macil Duncan show. I listen to it on a regular basis. And I pray for the show and pray for Brother Macil.
It's a new day in Chattanooga. This is WVMG Chattanooga.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
Hey, you got this. Just breathe. Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, Or you, your best man. Your worst man. You, your dog walker. Your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder, and our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other and build family memories we will carry with us forever. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. It's easy. Just put in your zip code to find family-friendly outdoor destinations near you. You'll also find guides to free activities, games, and amazing forest facts. Give the magic of the outdoors to your kids and reconnect with your family. Find a forest near you at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Katy Perry just announced she will not be returning as an American Idol judge after the season. She made the announcement on Jimmy Kimmel Live Monday night, saying she loves American Idol, but says she also wants to go around the world and maybe bring back some new music. Perry has been on American Idol as a judge for the past 7 seasons.
Well, if you watched the American Idol Sunday night, they did announce the winner. And congratulations to Abby for winning. Will, was pulling for Will. Of course, I kind of like the country guy, and also Jack, the top 3. But this year they had a lot of good talent on American Idol, many of them Christians. So if you haven't, it's a pretty good family-friendly show. Go back and watch from the beginning. This was a good season. But they did a tribute to Katy Perry, and I was shocked. New Kids on the Block did a performance. And the guy that plays Danny on Blue Bloods, if you guys remember, Mark Wahlberg's brother, I can't think of his first name anyway, he was up there singing, and Mark Wahlberg was Marky Mark. Does y'all remember that? So the Wahlbergs, now that are known for their acting, actually started out as music guys. Interesting stuff. But Katy Perry leaving the show, but she also made the statement, keep my seat warm, I might be back. So she says she just wants to take an indefinite time off. So interesting on that. Now this right here is interesting about Mr. Biden. He told 15 lies in 17 minutes, according to Fox News. See what you think about this.
This week with CNN, if you saw it, you may have watched it yourself. He set quite the record. The New York Post reports this. In a brief 17 minutes, Biden told 15 lies, nearly a lie a minute. From whoppers about the economy to prevarications on Israel, Biden spun a fantasy land of a presidency that voters know is false. So what we want to do is put it all together, all right? So on screen, you'll see all 15 that the New York Post lists here. I don't know what you favor, Martha. Lie 1 is I've created 15 million jobs since I've been president. Problem is that all those jobs came back because COVID went away. And
so he told 15 lies in 17 minutes. The press conference did take his NAACP speech, and they made 9 retractions and just released them to the public today. So isn't that interesting? How in the world is he able to do that? I don't know. This is Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene raising alarm over 10 million illegal immigrants in the country, plus another 2 million that are gotaways. This is a conservative count.
Chairman of the Committee on Homeland Security, U.S. Congressman Dr. Mark Green says he expects federal border authorities under the Biden administration to have encountered 10 million migrants by the end of this summer. It's a number that's never been seen in two-term presidential administrations, let alone one. According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection data, federal agents encountered more than 248,000 migrants at the U.S.'s southern and northern borders in April, bringing the fiscal year 2024 total to nearly 2 million. And since President Biden took office, more than 9.5 million migrants have been encountered at our nation's borders. It is unbelievable that we are on track to hit 10 million encounters nationwide before this fiscal year is even over. And that doesn't count the roughly 2 million or more known gotaways on this administration's watch.
So that is a huge amount of people, and it's going to be very interesting to see. It's a very key issue, and a lot of Americans are paying attention. Well, the other thing that broke today was Norm Eisen. He's the key architect behind the color revolution and 180 lawfare cases against Donald Trump. This got leaked today in the Trump trial. This game, set, and match, many think. Norm Eisen, the key architect behind the color revolution and lawfare cases against President Trump. It came out today that he was the architect, if you will, behind all of the impeachment trials, all the different things that went on during Trump's election of 2015 process up to 2016. Trump's defense witness, Robert Costello, on Monday testified that Norm Eisen coerced Michael Cohen to pay Stormy Daniels out of his own pocket. Eisen wilted and walked away with a cop of protection when confronted by angry citizens outside the courtroom. Norm Eisen is behind every lawfare case against President Trump. Michael Cohen went to Norm Eisen in 2016 with his Stormy Daniels hush money payment grift. And Eisen was the one that helped put together the attacks on Donald Trump, 180 lawsuits. He was known as Obama's ethics czar and served in the Obama administration. In September 2020, Tucker Carlson spoke with Revolver News' Darren Beattie, a former speechwriter for the President Trump. Beattie called out Norm Eisen in his discussion about the color revolution. Darren Beattie specifically called out Norm Eisen as a lawfare hatchet man and Democratic operative behind the color revolution. Norm Eisen is a key legal hatchet man, a Democratic operative, and a former Obama ethics czar. And believe it or not, when he was also the key architect of nearly every effort to censor, sue, impeach, and overthrow President Trump. He was behind what they call the playbook. Literally, they called it the playbook, the revolutionary playbook on how to entrap or imprison Donald J. Trump. Norm Eisen has long been a checkered history past that goes back to the Crew, CREW, which is a lawfare arm of left-wing liberals. He is behind over 180 lawsuits against Trump. He authored the 10 articles of impeachment before the president even picked up the phone with Zelensky. He was a special counsel to the Democrats for the impeachment process, and he was literally involved in every aspect of the color revolution against Donald Trump. This was a huge, huge release today. The other thing that was released is the federal judge in Florida released, according to Newsweek's, The Times, and many others, the FBI was prepared to use deadly force at Mar-a-Lago raid. This is a game changer. Jack Smith, his documents have been released by the federal judge that he was given permission by Merrick Garland and the FBI to use deadly force when approaching Mar-a-Lago raid and retrieving information. New court filings unleashed Tuesday proves a behind-the-scenes look at how federal agents prepared for and executed the raid on Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in August 2022, including deadly force being within the mission's guidelines that's in the warrant. The raid led to the search and seizure of hundreds of documents containing classified information, ultimately leading to criminal charges against Donald Trump. Last June, the presumptive Republican presidential nominee pleaded not guilty to 37 charges associated with his alleged lack of returning classified materials. At this point, the judge has put the case indefinitely on hold as more and more of these type of documents are being released. Again, the FBI was given the ability to use, as they would call, deadly force in the raid at Mar-a-Lago. Interesting stuff here, my friends. This is all breaking here today. I think we can safely say the debacle of these law cases are finally coming to light, and I think the exoneration process is beginning. This is Macil Duncan. Be safe. I will see you tomorrow on the Macil Duncan Show. God bless, Godspeed, and don't forget, if you want to call in, 629-282-1776. That's 629-282-1776. Leave us a message on why you love America or why you love the show. Thanks for those across the nation that have been calling in. See you tomorrow, America.